Welcome to this space, a space just for you to reconnect and look inward.
Hello everyone. So in this first video, I want to introduce myself. I want to tell you a little bit about my journey, about who I am, and what's the purpose of this YouTube channel. So first off, my name is Daniela. I'm 28. I'm a full-time yoga teacher here in New York City, but I'm originally from Colombia. I moved to New York City 2.5 years ago because of my husband. Back then, he was my boyfriend, and we had a long distance relationship for 3 years, and then we finally decided to move together. He proposed, we got married, I moved here, and I have been here ever since. My journey in yoga started when I was like 13. I went to my first yoga class with my mom, and I would say that first approach was in a very physical way. I found it fascinating because growing up, I was always very naturally flexible, and I think this practice just allowed me to explore that flexibility, and I just felt amazing afterwards. At that point, I wasn't really very consistent. I was probably attending one yoga class a week with my mom, and then I stopped for a few years and I went back into it. I was always very curious about spirituality though. I always knew that there was more beyond that physical body, and I was always curious to explore that more. So definitely yoga exposed me a lot to that spiritual aspect, and also to be more aware of not just my body, but also my emotions and my mind. I lost my parents at a young age. First my mom when I was 19, and then my dad when I was 22. So from these big life-changing experiences, a lot of questions arise, and I really started to dig deeper to try to understand myself better. So I was in search of some guidance, and at that point I was practicing yoga more often, probably like 3 times a week. And that's when in 2019 I decided to travel by myself for the first time, trying to find some answers to so many questions I had. And I went to Bali for a yoga retreat, which was like a great combination of, being able to practice yoga, to immerse in my practice, but also to immerse in myself, to spend those weeks just with myself. And I think that opened my mind so much. And I can say from that point, I started to build a deeper and stronger connection with myself. Returning back to Colombia after being in Bali, I decided I wanted to get certified in yoga. So I did my first 200 hours in Medellin, Colombia, where I am from and where I was currently living. In that moment, I didn't really know if I actually wanted to teach yoga, if I wanted to become a yoga teacher, but I wanted to learn more about the practice. I wanted to understand what it was all really about. And I enjoyed the training so much. I learned so much. And when I was towards the end of the training, my family and friends started asking me to teach them some classes, and that was the first time I tried to actually teach a class, and I loved it. When I moved to New York in September 2021, I decided that was my opportunity to pursue yoga as a full-time thing, but I didn't even know where to start. I honestly didn't know a lot of people here, so I'm not gonna lie, it was really tough at first. It took me a while to build my clients and to get to a point where I am today, where I can say I have more stability in my job. And I definitely want to tell you more about this in another video, because people tend to think that when you're a yoga teacher, you either work at a studio, at a gym, or as a private yoga instructor, but there's really not a lot of options. But being here, I realized there can be a lot more opportunities than I thought. In December 2022, I traveled to India with my husband. The first 2 weeks I was just traveling with him, and then I stayed there by myself for almost a month, completing a 300-hour yoga teacher training. It was very challenging. I completed 300 hours in like 3.5 weeks. So that was pretty intense. And I would definitely like to tell you more about this whole experience in another video, because there's a big story behind this and I don't want to like extend too much right now. But it was amazing to see and understand the practice from a different perspective, from the place where it all started. And when I returned, I felt so encouraged to keep spreading this practice, to find new ways to teach, to get to more people, and also to keep expanding my knowledge, because I realized there's always more and more and more to learn. And after I returned, I also completed a meditation course. I wanted to really explore that more as well, because even though I meditated before, I wanted to have a deeper understanding about this practice and really get to incorporate it in my daily routine, as well as accompany others with their meditation journeys. So I always try to keep learning new things, expanding my practice, expanding my knowledge, and finding new ways to help and guide others. And that's one of the reasons why I'm creating this YouTube channel. So I have been on Instagram for a while, and I try to share short videos, yoga related, meditation related, and lifestyle related. But I think I want to share more than what Instagram allows me to share. So that's why I want to start posting some yoga classes here, as well as guided meditations, advice for other yoga teachers from what I have learned. I don't have all the answers, but I think I have a lot to share from what I have learned in my journey. And also talk about certain topics that I feel passionate about and that I think could help others as much as they have helped me. So I really hope you enjoy this channel, and thank you for watching this first introductory video.